Hey everybody, how are you doing on this really damp and cool Wednesday afternoon? We are heading into our Wellness Wednesday, and you're getting the whole natural thing today. It's just one of those days I just didn't feel like putting any makeup on, and I'm just going au naturel. Oh well, it is what it is. This is me in all my glory. You can turn off the video if you need to, but it's all good. All through April, you guys have been doing great with your cleaning and clean eating and, following along with the clean eating prompts that I've been giving you guys. I've been doing videos almost on a daily basis, taking some time off over the weekends, but really just diving into a lot of the tips with regards to clean eating and, offering you guys the opportunity to look at food a different way and to begin to bring in a different thought process with regards to foods and junk food as a result. I'm not saying don't. I'm saying try something new. Look at the reasons behind this. See how this can be a benefit to your life and your health overall. And hopefully we are, really making some better choices as a result of, just taking the time to think, should I have this or should I have this? Looking towards, should I have applesauce or should I have a real apple? And looking at really whole food and understanding why we really want to incorporate clean eating into our lives. And that's what we're going to talk about today, being Wellness Wednesday. And what is the reasoning behind the fact that we want to go towards a clean eating diet? Well, a diet high in processed foods and added sugars can actually decrease the amount of good bacteria in our gut. And if you've ever listened to me for any length of time, I talk about the gut a lot. And that I talk about that imbalance that can actually happen when we have increased sugar cravings, and what's going on in our gut to actually bring that about. Those sugar cravings and actually the taking in of extra sugars as a result can actually damage your gut even a little bit further, unfortunately. And when we look towards those processed foods and those added sugars, we're really doing ourselves a disservice. I know. It's hard. It is really, really hard. It is hard to say no. It's hard to not give in to those cravings. And I'm not saying never. I'm saying when we are really focused in on trying to get better and really focused in on incorporating some healthier habits and really internalizing our voice and going, well, what's this craving telling me? What's going on? Do I really want to have another piece of chocolate cake? Do I really need to have another piece of bread? These are things that internal voice is what we really should be starting to listen to, and then question what's going on really. Is this a really true craving, or is it that the fact that maybe I got some bad bacteria going on in my gut, which is causing those cravings because they're the ones that need it, not so much me. High amounts of refined sugars, particularly high fructose corn syrup, that bad guy, can actually be linked to increased inflammation in the body. And again, if you've been listening to me, it's all about the gut. It's all about inflammation. It's all about really clean eating and really trying to bring about a balance within you and finding what works best for you as well, too. So gut dysbiosis, and that's just a fancy word for troubles that are going on in your tummy troubles, basically, may lead to weight gain. But probiotics can potentially restore gut health and reduce weight as a result of that as well, too. Now, it's not the probiotics so much that is going to cause you to, reduce weight. It's the balancing and again, I hate that word balance. What is the word? The harmony that we are looking for in the gut, that, when we have that harmony working, we don't have those bad bacteria in our gut going, feed me, Seymour. And causing you to crave and ultimately take more in and more in and more in. And when we don't have when we don't have those cravings, we have, a better stability with regards to the things that we are eating, and understanding and being able to listen a little bit closer to what our body's actually telling us. We've heard of those hormones, leptin and ghrelin. And these are the hormones that cause us to feel hungry and to not feel hungry. And when those hormones are working properly, because we have, again, that nice harmony going on in the gut, we will actually start to hear the signals from our brain telling us, yeah, we're full, we're okay, we don't need any more. And we start listening to that as a result. But it's a process. It's a process that takes a while, and nothing happens overnight. So if you're taking a probiotic thinking that you're going to lose weight as a result, well, eventually, but there's a lot of other key things in play that you have to begin to put in place as a result too. You got to really, listen really closely to those cues that are going on in the body. You have to really understand that it's not just going to be probiotics. That's not a wonder drug by any means. It has to be probiotics plus mental mindset shift. It's bringing clean eating into your life, getting rid of the processed foods, at least for a little while, and then their body can come back to that nice harmony that we want. That counters the gut dysbiosis, the tummy troubles that are causing a lot of the issues in the rest of our body. So a healthy gut microbiome actually controls gut health by communicating with the intestinal cells, digesting certain foods, and preventing disease-causing bacteria from sticking to the intestinal walls. Disease-causing bacteria that sticks to the intestinal walls. This is the stuff that we should be eliminating with every bowel movement. It shouldn't be sticking to the sides of our gut. So you got to think, okay? So our gut is like a tube, especially our large intestines, but our small intestines are a little bit smaller, but they're a tube basically. Now in that tube, you're going to have buildup of things that are mucousy and all kinds of stickiness stuff, and it'll literally stick to the sides of the walls of the gut. Whereas you may be still having a normal bowel movement, you may be still, thinking everything's cool and fine and dandy, but, there potentially could be a lot of, especially in a diet like a low carb, high fat diet or a ketogenic diet, you potentially, you're still going to have maybe some, regular bowel movements, but understanding that the wall is not being scraped off and it's not being swept clean by fiber, because you don't have a lot of that. So you could be causing a lot of potential for disease process downstream because of the bad bacteria that is actually building up along the walls of the intestine. Certain bacteria within the gut microbiome can actually produce chemicals that may block arteries and lead to heart disease. So again, you're looking at the intestinal walls and a potential, because the intestinal wall is like, it's semi-permeable. So you've got processed foods, and not processed foods, but metabolized foods and broken down foods that have been broken down, hopefully, into their lowest forms, and they slip through, and that's how we get our nutrients into our body and then into our bloodstream, and gets distributed throughout the rest of the body. When we have bad bacteria along the inside of our gut wall, it eats away at that permeability and the holes get bigger, which allows for a lot of toxins that may be building up along that wall, as well as food that hasn't been broken down into smallest forms to be let out and distributed to the rest of the body. And wherever there might be kind of a weak area, a potential maybe genetic predisposition towards disease or anything along that lines, or even like too much stress going on in the body, or wherever your body seems to be most susceptible to be being able pick up on the bad bacteria, that's where that stuff is going to go. So it could go to your heart or your arteries, especially if you have a tendency towards a heart disease picture in your life. And and there's other constituents happening, maybe that high fat diet, maybe a lot of stress in your life, maybe just a lot of genetic makeup that really could lead to that expression of disease process. And when our gut lets those bad toxins and those bad bacteria float into that area, it could potentially go to that heart area and cause a lot of issues as a result. So probiotics can actually help lower cholesterol and the risk of heart disease as a result by, again, just allowing for the good bacteria to flourish in our gut, and then looking towards healing that gut lining back to where it's supposed to be by incorporating the proper fiber in your diet, by incorporating perhaps some specific supplements that would be very healing to the gut lining, and keeping that mindset in proper form and really working towards that healing process. This is not something that happens overnight, but this is something that over time can help that root problem that I'm always talking about, and really start to reverse the issues that have been accumulated downstream as a result of that root cause of problems. The gut microbiome actually plays a role in controlling blood sugars as well, and may also affect the onset of type 1 diabetes in children. I don't have the stats with regards to that, so I'm not going to talk about that. But as far as controlling blood sugar in type 2 diabetes and prediabetes and insulin resistance and that predisposition towards type 2 diabetes, definitely the microbiome, again, it's that buildup of sugar in our bodies, the candida that can really wreak havoc within our system, that again opens up those permeable or semi-permeable junctions in our gut that can express as inflammation throughout the rest of the body. And the gut microbiome can and may affect the brain health as well too. And that's that connection between the brain and the gut that is so very prevalent, as well as highly researched these days. And it's not only just a one-way street. It's not only just the gut affecting the brain, it's the brain affecting the gut as well too. And it's that connection between the nerves that connect the brain to the gut, and it's a two-way street. And the more research that comes out, which is like all the time these days, the more we are seeing how prevalent it is, that gut-brain connection that is just so important for so many things, including our mental health, which is a whole topic onto its own, but something that is definitely, if it's been on your mind and something that you're trying to learn a little bit more about, connect with me. I'm actually in the process of setting up a program not a program, but a presentation at this point with another colleague of mine with regards to mental health and the gut, and really diving down deep a little bit more with the health of our gut, especially when it comes to our children. So that's another story altogether, but something to stay tuned for sure. So there's many ways to improve the gut microbiome, and I'm going to go through a list of them right now just to give you a bit of idea. And it's not going to be the one that all of these things are going to be right for everybody. Whatever really resonates for you, whatever you pick up on, this is something that you are meant to hear. Even if you're not hearing this in real time, if you actually come across this video later on, you're going to want to give me a hashtag replay and let me know that you're actually caught this video, and tell me what you think. Tell me what resonated with you. Tell me what you picked up on throughout this video itself, and let me know how you are going to incorporate that into your journey, because I am very, very interested to know, and I'm very, very I'm curious. I'm curious what it is that people are really wanting to resonate towards, or what seems to be the right way for them. Because I want you guys to start listening to what's going on inside. I want you to hear the words. I want you to do the research on your own. I want you to understand, take in all the information that you need, and then listen to what really makes sense to you the most, and then let me know, because I am curious about that end of things. I mean, I can give you guys information all day long, but it's what really works best for you, and that's kind of the little bit of the training that I'm actually trying to bestow upon you guys, is the fact that you have to start listening to what really you think would be good for you, and then follow it. It's called a gut feeling for a reason, and it's definitely something that we should start listening to a lot more. So getting back to ways to improve the gut microbiome, like I said, pick and choose whichever ones you feel really connect with you right now, and then go with it. Really, like, seriously, just like this is a message to you. First of all, eating a diverse range of foods. We've been talking about that all month with the clean eating, and understanding why we're doing clean eating. And again, the reason we want a diverse amount of food, we don't want just the regular 5 special vegetables that are, that have been the mainstay for the last 10 years. Broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, cucumbers, and lettuce. Okay? Switch it up a little bit. See what flavors are out there. See something that catches your eye maybe the next time you're grocery shopping. Even if you don't know what it is, grab it, take it home, research it, give me a shout, let me know what it is, show me a picture, and I'm going to tell you and give you like a ton of different recipes that you could probably do with it. Because when you begin to bring a different type of foods into your world, that really gives the gut an opportunity to go, hey, this is new, I like this, and really work with it as a result. So something like different kinds of beans, different kinds of legumes, different kinds of fruit. We're going into spring right now, and it's just a cornucopia of different fruits and vegetables out there. Try something new. All of these contain that fiber that's going to scrape the wall of the intestine, which is we need that. Women and men need that, but particularly women, because when we don't have that scraping and clearing out of our gut, it eventually causes issues, and we end up with a lot of heart problems. So people often wonder, yes, women have a lot of heart disease. It's one of the biggest killers for women. But what is the connection with fiber? Well, that is it right there. We want to clean out the gut. We want to make sure that we're not constipated. We're going to clean out what has been sitting in there. We can hold anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds of crap, basically, of stool in our guts at any given time, and we can clean that out by incorporating some really high fiber foods, getting your flaxseed in on a regular basis, taking in a little bit more water all the time, and really decrease your chances for heart disease as a result. And when we add that increased fiber into our diet, we're also allowing for and promoting the growth of really good bacteria, one of them in particular, Bifidobacteria, which is one of those great ones that we want to keep in our gut. So another way that we can improve our gut microbiome, eat fermented foods, such as yogurt, sauerkraut, and kefir. If this really resonates with you, then great. I'm not a big fan of it specifically. Yes, sauerkraut. Yes, kefir. More along the lines of a coconut kefir than a dairy kefir, because any kind of dairy product is going to have to go through the process of pasteurization. Simple. And what happens during that pasteurization? It kills off a lot of the good bacteria, as well as the bad bacteria. It's like taking an antibiotic. Yeah, antibiotics kill those bad bacteria, but it also kills the good bacteria. So when a food goes through the pasteurization process, it kills off the bad bacteria, yeah, but it also gets rid of a lot of the good bacteria. So yogurt's not really going to help you too much unless you're past the healing journey and you're into more of like a health journey, which is just like the regular maintenance kind of life that we should all be living. Yogurt on occasion is going to be really, really helpful for that too, but not the sugar-laden ones. You're going to want to buy plain Greek yogurt, preferably, because it's got more protein in it, and add a little bit of maple syrup, or add a little bit of cinnamon and fresh berries into it, and you're going to be able to get the benefits of that yogurt from there. Mainly the type of bacteria you're looking at right there is lactobacilla, and it actually can reduce the amount of disease-causing species in the gut, and it can actually help to relieve intolerance to lactose as well too. Totally different things. But definitely something that you want to look at. Incorporating kefir is another, not kefir, but kimchi is another really wonderful condiment. Miso is a paste that you can get. It's a fermented soybean paste. Makes incredible soups that you can incorporate into it on a daily basis, like have a cup of soup before your meal. It's going to incorporate a lot of those really healthy bacteria, as long as you don't like boil the soup or anything. You have a cup of hot water, you take a spoonful of the miso, put it in the water, stir it around till it melts, maybe add a couple of green onions, maybe a couple of flakes of seaweed. Really, really incredible and nourishing soup. I would even tout it as being a little bit better than bone broth. I know there's a lot of bone broth people out there, but when we're really looking towards some nourishment and healing of the gut, you're going to want to look towards these kinds of things. Another thing you're going to want to do is limiting your artificial intake of artificial sweeteners. So evidence has shown that artificial sweeteners like aspartame increase blood sugar by stimulating the growth of unhealthy bacteria like Enterobacteria, one of the bacteria, in many ways, that I can't pronounce, and that's within the gut microbiome. So let me repeat that. There's been controversy, and I've been called out a couple of times with regards to this, but artificial sweeteners like aspartame increase blood sugar levels. And what happens when you're increasing blood sugar levels? Your body goes into that mode where it's trying to work with you and store that blood sugar into the cells to be able to use it effectively. And how is that done? By insulin. Insulin is secreted to allow, it's the key to allow the blood sugar to get into the cells. And it needs that key. And when we have an increase in blood sugar, or not even an increase in blood sugar, but it's increasing the perception of blood sugar, because so the sweetness, it can, causes an increase in our insulin as well too. But so not only that, but that, like I said, it stimulates the unhealthy bacteria in our gut, which is going to cause a lot of problems downstream as well too. So eating prebiotic foods. This is another one where I'm saying go towards foods first. Pretty much everything is prebiotic. Prebiotic, again, just is insoluble fiber. So when we have an apple, the skin of the apple, the pectin, all these wonderful things that are constituents that are inside an apple are fiber. Most fruits and vegetables have fiber. The only things that don't have fiber is animal products and fat. So all of our fruits and vegetables and especially our grains, legumes, beans, nuts, seeds, everything like that is going to have fiber at some level. And when we're looking at insoluble fiber, this is the prebiotic richness that we want to help feed that good bacteria as well too. So prebiotics actually stimulate the growth of healthy bacteria in our gut. And if you really want to be very specific about it, you can start taking in artichokes, which are so cool. But again, if you're going to be taking in it with spinach and a dip, maybe not so much. Banana, one of the really good ones for prebiotic foods. Asparagus, another really good one. Oats, bananas, sorry, apples, just like I was saying. One of those things that we only kind of get one or two chances in, or 14, depending upon how many children you have in life, or, and one thing that is not really was our choice at the time, but breastfeeding is for at least 6 months. This is an opportunity that we can give our children as mothers, if you're able to breastfeed. And for the most part, we would try again to breastfeed, because it is very important for the development of gut microbiome. There's so many children that are both cesarean birthed and then bottle fed right away without having any of the opportunity to have the good bacteria that a child of vaginal birth is provided, and breastfed child is provided. Not only do you get the wonderful, beneficial breast milk, but you also get the opportunity to give the child your good skin bacteria as well too. So this is really important. And like I said, there's a small window that we have with our own children to provide that to them. And then, of course, we didn't really have that option. And hopefully our mothers were able to provide us with that breast milk for at least 6 months. Because you get that beneficial bifidobacterium, as opposed to those who are bottle fed. And it kind of shows, to be honest with you, with regards to how many allergies we see in kids these days. Because if we don't have the good bacteria in our gut, we end up having a tendency to be allergic to a lot of things, lactose, a lot of food things, because we haven't given our guts the opportunity to really build up enough stores of its own before introducing all these foods. So again, it's one of those things of people that introduce foods a little bit early to kids whose the gut is not really ready for it at that point. And then the bacteria in their gut is not flourished. It's not, gone crazy and done those things that it has to do to be able to break down the foods that it is being provided if you give adult food to them too soon. So yeah, bifidobacteria is one of those ones that kids just don't get unless they're breastfed. But I mean, later on in life, kids can be given probiotics without a doubt. Without a doubt, there's a lot of products out there that can be given to children. And one of my really favorite ones is Genestra, and they actually have a formula for children that can be given, especially around school time when they all get runny noses, and they make everybody sick as a result as well too. Eating whole grains is going to be really beneficial for that gut healing as well too. So whole grains contain a lot of fiber and beneficial carbs like beta-glucan, which are digested by the good gut bacteria to benefit weight, cancer risk, diabetes, and other disorders that could potentially come downstream. Trying a plant-based diet. So vegetarian diets may help reduce the levels of disease-causing bacteria such as E. coli, which is essentially comes from animal products, and as well as decreasing inflammation and cholesterol as a result as well too. Not saying you have to go vegetarian, but I hope people don't get the message that I'm telling you have to do this. It's not about that. Whatever seems to resonate best with you, whatever you pick up on throughout my talks and the little things that I say, those little nuggets of wisdom. Oh yeah, I heard Wendy say that, maybe eating more plants might be helpful. I don't feel like I'm going to go vegetarian, but maybe I'll put a little bit more broccoli on my plate tonight. Those kinds of things. It's not a be all or end all. There's no one solution for anybody. But when we start incorporating all these little bits and nuggets of information throughout everything, and really working towards stuff, then it does make a big difference. Looking towards, let's see here, foods rich in polyphenols. So polyphenols are actually those plant compounds found in red wine. So here's the good part. Red wine, green tea, dark chocolate, olive oil, and whole grains. So these are things that I don't want you to live without. I mean, how can we? When some of these really good things are going to be good for us, as well as understanding that they are very good for the soul as well, too. So, don't deprive yourself. When we're talking about healing journeys and health journeys and, beginning to understand the body and listening to what the body needs and desires, it's about whatever is good for you in that moment. I don't believe in deprivation diets. I don't believe in, cutting out a food group or a nutrient group because it gives me instantaneous results. The stress that you're putting yourself through at that time is it really worth it? I mean, okay, there are some people that would prefer to have a perfect body and really look good as opposed to feel good and, have really good skin and feel good in their brains and feel good in their hearts and have a happy laugh in their bellies. These are more important from my perspective, and I think anybody that really follows me a lot is going to find that's their perspective as well too. Like taking a probiotic supplement, again, this is something that we talked about earlier, but the live bacteria can actually help to restore the gut to a healthy state after dysbiosis. So after that influx or that I've forgotten the word, unharmony that's going on in the gut. It's like you're reseeding something after, an issue, tummy troubles that you might be having. You're reseeding the gut with those healthy bacteria and healthy microbes that are going to be beneficial for you in the end. And again, it's not something, I mean, if you take a stint of 6 to 8 months, perhaps, of really being focused in on cleaning up your gut, cleaning up your diet, consciously trying to restore balance, restore harmony in your gut, then you are going to be taking a probiotic. This is not going to be something that you're going to be able to just get through food. Please, not yogurt. And then afterwards, you should be good. Like, as long as you continue down that journey after like about 6 to 8 months or whatever of taking a probiotic and really working hard, you should be able to restore the harmony within your gut. After that, it would just be maintenance. You're going to continue to eat that way because after 6 to 8 months of really eating a certain way, introducing incredible foods into your life, getting a lot of exercise, working on that mindset, and still enjoying things like red wine and dark chocolate every once in a while, olive oil and whole grains, not depriving yourself, being in a really good place with your health, your mental state, everything that's going on around you. It's okay to be off of this stuff and not have to take pills for the rest of your life. You don't have to take probiotics for 12 years. If you've really been diligent enough to really bring some stabilization and some healing to certain areas of your body, to those root issues, then you're going to be able to go off of probiotics. You're going to be able to go off of other things in your life that you think that are just for the rest of your life. That's not how supplements work. When you've done the work, you should be good. And then it would just be maintenance. Going into cold and flu season, you want to boost your immune system. And I know I'm not supposed to use those words technically, or support your immune system, basically, is what you want to do. And you would incorporate some more probiotics into your life at that time, maybe just 1 bottle of them, and you're good to go through the season. It really depends upon how hard you work and how fast you want to get to where you want to go. And then, of course, if you end up taking any kind of antibiotics, when you do, understanding that those probiotics you can take at the same time, you want to take usually an antibiotic is either 1 or 2 doses a day. you would just take them at alternate times. You wouldn't take them at the same time. So if you have a 2-dose antibiotic, you wouldn't take it at morning and then at night, perhaps, or whenever, dinner time or before bed or whatever. And then you would take the probiotic in between. If you're taking just one daily dose of antibiotic, then you would take your probiotic at the opposite time during the day. Antibiotics kill. They kill many, many bad bacteria, but they also kill those good bacteria. So you want to counter that with the probiotic at the same time to make sure that there's no lasting effects of dysbiosis going on in the microbiome. And you know, and when we have those bad gut, those bad the bad bacteria going on in the gut, this could be potentially causing or contributing to weight gain and antibiotic resistance over a long period of time. There's lots of people out there that, you know, the overuse of antibiotics has gotten to the point where the bad bacteria are going, yeah, this is nothing new. Why, you know, they've actually morphed and mutated within us, and, you know, have become resistant to any kind of antibiotics in our lives. And I've seen that so much with our elders, so much. Whereas that when they would get sick and severely sick with something, an antibiotic, no antibiotic on the spectrum could help it. You know, even IV antibiotic doses being shipped to the hospital, and you know, having emergency doses of really, really high antibiotics, not touching it, because the microbiome has shifted and accommodated and learned how to fight against that. So antibiotics, sparingly. They are a God-given miracle drug, but the thing is, you have to use them sparingly and use them only when you need to, and then counter them, counter the effects of them killing off the good bacteria within your gut by incorporating all these credible little pearls of wisdom that I'm throwing at you today. So the bottom line basically is your gut microbiome is made up of trillions and trillions and trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microbes. They say that there is more of them in us than there's actually cells of us. So we are basically, what do they call that? We are basically we're not the host, they are, and we're feeding off of them basically, or they're feeding off of us, but we're, you know, that's, we're not really, when we feed ourselves, we're not really even feeding ourselves, we're feeding the bacteria in our bodies, and like I said, the fungi and the microbes and everything else. There, like I said, there's more of them than there are cells of us. The gut microbiome actually plays a very important role in your health, by helping control digestion and benefiting your immune system on many, many aspects of your health. An imbalance of unhealthy and healthy microbiomes in the intestines may contribute to weight gain, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and other disorders as well too. And to help support the growth of healthy microbes in your gut, you're going to want to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, fermented foods, potentially take in probiotic, potentially take in a prebiotic if you really need it, if you're not taking in enough fruits and vegetables, those insoluble fiber foods, and then definitely looking towards talking to myself or another nutritionist with regards to what really is going to help with supplement wise with regards to healing the gut lining and restore that harmony in your gut as well too. It's imperative. It is the root cause. It is the root place of many issues in our lives, and something that cannot be ignored any longer by anybody. Google it. If this doesn't make any sense to you, Google it. There's tons and tons of information out there that you have privy to all over the the internet. One of the big things that I really promote quite heavily is because of the heavily researched and you can't dispute it. The fact that whole food plant powders is an amazing, amazing adjunct to everything else that you're doing in your life, because it is it bridges that gap between the things that you are eating and the things that you should be eating. Life, like I said, is full of ups and downs and joys and disappointments and all these wonderful things that, we still want to enjoy life. And we have pizza on Friday nights. We're coming into barbecue season where there's going to be maybe a lot more animal products than there is fruit and vegetable products. We're just, trying to really, again, just bridge that gap. So looking towards a Juice Plus product is essential from the perspective of that good microbiome, allowing the antioxidants to really help counter the free radical damage from the toxins that we are taking in. So that, coupled with other things that I was talking about today, is going to make a big, big difference in your whole overall health. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let me see here. Please reach out to, I think I got cut off. Please reach out to myself, and we can definitely discuss it a little bit further. I have free 1-hour sessions or 30-minute sessions that we can discuss a lot of this, and just go from there. So hopefully everybody had a little bit of click. And like I said, let me know in the replay if you catch it in the replay. I did get cut off of Facebook, so I'm gonna have to just post it. So there, Facebook. And then just hashtag replay, and tell me what little nugget you got from this, and definitely we'll connect and talk. We'll talk soon.